Okay, so in this video, we are going to solve this question I have on the screen here, which is that what is the Maclaurin series expansion for the function f of x equals 1 plus x to the power 1 over 3? Okay, so now let's look at how you're going to answer this question here. Okay, so to begin with, first of all, I'm going to write the general formula for the Maclaurin series expansion. Okay, so that's going to be f of x equals the zero derivative of the function at 0, okay, divided by 0 factorial, okay, times x to the power 0, which is the same as 1. Okay, so let me still write it here, x to the power 0, okay, plus the first derivative of the function at 0 over 1 factorial, okay, all this multiplied by x to the power 1, and then plus the second derivative of the function at 0, the second derivative of the function at 0 over 2 factorial times x to the power 2, plus then it goes on to the nth term, the m derivative of the function at 0 over n factorial times x to the power n. Okay, so this is the general formula for the Maclaurin series expansion. Okay, so what you are going to do is that now we have our function here, which is 1 plus x into brackets 1 over 3. Okay, so we are going to write the series expansion for this function here. So let's look at that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to find the derivative of this function here. Okay, so first of all, when you find the zero derivative, you find the first derivative and then the second derivative, and then that will help us to find the coefficient of this value of what x that we have here. So first of all, let's find the first derivative of the function. So that'll be, so I'll find the zero derivative first. That'll be the zero derivative of the function. Okay, the zero derivative of the function, that will be the same as the function. That will be the same as what? 1 plus x. It's like taking no derivative of the function. So 1 plus x to the power what? 1 over 3. So after that, you're going to find the zero derivative of the function at 0. So that the zero derivative of the function at 0, that will be equal to 1 plus 0 to the power 1 over 3. Okay, and then this will give us the value of what? 1. Okay, then after this, let's find the first derivative of the function also. That'll be f prime of x. Okay, so for this function, okay, so for this part, let's apply the chain rule here. So that'll be 1 over 3 to bracket 1 plus x to the power what? 1 over 3 minus 1. So that'll be minus 2 over 3. Okay, so now let's find the value of the function, that's the first derivative of the function at 0. So this will be equal to 1 over 3 multiplied by 1 plus 0 to the power what? Minus 2 on 3. Okay, so let's see what we get for this one also. So this will be equal to 1 over 3. This will be equal to 1 over 3. Okay, so now let's do for the third term also. So we are going to find the second derivative of the function. That will be f prime of x. Okay, so when I found the second derivative, we got what? 1 over 3 into brackets 1 plus x to the power minus 2 over 3. So the second derivative will be 1 over 3 times 1 over 3 multiplied by minus 2 over 3 multiplying 1 plus x, okay, to the power minus 2 over 3 minus 1, so that will be to the power minus 5 over 3. Okay, so now let's find the second derivative of the function at 0, so that will be minus 2 over 9 into bracket 1 plus 0 to the power of minus 5 over 3, and then this will be equal to minus 2 over 9. Okay. Now from here, what you do is that sit down, you find the derivatives. Okay, the derivatives are what you have on top here. So now you found them. So let's just substitute. So now f of x will be equal to the zero derivative. From the zero derivative, we got 1. Okay, here is it here. So that will be 1 over 0 factorial times what? X to the power 0, which is still 1. Okay, so 1 over 0 factorial will also give me what? 1. So let me just write 1 here. So that will be 1. Okay, plus the first derivative of the function at 0 divided by what? 1 factorial. So the first derivative of the function at 0, we got to what? 1 over 3. So that 1 over 3 divided by 1 factorial, which is still 1 over 3. So that will be plus 1 over 3 times what? X. Okay, and write this for 1 over 3 times x. Okay, and then let's see what comes next. So that's the second derivative of the function at 0 divided by 2 factorial, and then for the second derivative we got what? Minus 2 over 9. So that would be minus 2 over 9 divided by what? 2 factorial, right? Okay, but I can write this as minus 2 over 9 divided by 2 factorial, which is the same as 2. So this will be equal to what? Minus 2 divided by what? 9 times 1 over 2, and this will be equal to what? Minus 2 over 18, and this will be equal to minus 1 over 9. Okay, so the next thing will be minus 1 over 9 x squared. Okay, then the series will continue. So this is what we have now. So this now becomes our answer. So now let's go back to the given answers here and then see if we have this here. So we have 1 plus 1 over 3x minus 1 over 9x squared. So that's the option A here. Now, so let's solve this question on the Maclaurin series also. So we says that what is the Maclaurin series expansion for the function f of x equals the square root of 1 plus x. So now I'll go ahead and write down the general formula for the Maclaurin series, okay, which is said to be f of x. The function f of x can be written in the series form as the zero derivative of the function at 0 over 0 factorial times what? X to the power 0, and then plus the first derivative of the function at 0 over 1 factorial times x to the power 1, which is x, plus the second derivative of the function at 0 over 2 factorial times x to the power 2. Then this continues to the nth times, that will be to the nth derivative of the function at 0 over n factorial multiplied by x to the power of n. So this is the general formula here. Okay, so for us to get the Maclaurin series for this function f of x here, okay, that's you have to find the derivative of this function. Yes, we are going to find the zero derivative, you find the first derivative, the second derivative, and so on. So I start from the zero derivative. So the zero derivative of the function, okay, will be the same as the function. But in this case, for this to be easy for us, I'm going to write the function as 1 plus x to the power of half. Okay, that would be something like this: 1 plus x to the power half. That's 1 over 2. It's the same as the square root of 1 plus x. So the zero derivative of the function at x will still be 1 plus x to the power of 1 over 2, and the zero derivative of the function at 0 will therefore be equal to 1. Okay, so that was for the first coefficient. So now let's find for the second one. So for the second coefficient of x, you have to find the first derivative of the function. That will be f prime of x. Okay, and this will be equal to, you are applying chain rule here, so that will be 1 over 2 multiplied what 1 plus x to the power minus half, to the power minus half. Okay, so the first derivative of the function at 0 will therefore be equal to 1 over 2, will therefore be equal to 1 over 2. Okay, so now let's find the second derivative of the function also. So that will be f prime prime of x. Okay, so this should be equal to 1 over 2 times this power here times minus 1 over 2 multiplied by what 1 plus x, 1 plus x. Okay, all this to the power minus 3 divided by 2. So let's find the value of the second derivative of the function at 0. This will be equal to what? Minus 1 over 4. Okay, so now that you have this, let's come and substitute them into this general formula here. So that will be, I'm going to write f of x as this, okay, because this is the function here. So that will be the square root of 1 plus x. Okay, you can choose to write f of x instead of you writing the function itself. It's all the same. So the square root of 1 plus x, then the zero derivative of the function over 0 factorial. The zero derivative of the function was 1, so 1 divided by 0 factorial will still be 1 times x to the power 0, that will still be what? 1. So we will have 1 here. Okay, then plus what you have here, that's the first derivative of the function at 0 divided by what? 1 factorial times x, so that will be plus the first derivative of the function at 0, that's 1 over 2 divided by what? 1 factorial, that will be what? Plus 1 over 2 x. Okay, then the third term is that the second derivative of the function at 0 over 2 factorial. So for the second derivative of the function at 0, you got what? Negative 1 over 4. So this divided by what? 2 factorial. 2 factorial, these two that I have here. So that will be equal to what? Negative 1 over 4 times what? 1 over 2 factorial, which is what? 1 over 2. So this will be equal to what? Negative 1 over 8. So let's come and substitute this here. So that will be what? Minus 1 over 8 x squared. So this will continue. Okay, because we only have 3 terms here, that's why I decided to shorten it this way. So we have what? 1 plus 1 over 2x minus 1 over 8x squared. So that tells us that our correct answer is what? The option E here.